iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.
Oh my God, I had no idea. This was never meant to be like an ongoing series. Truthfully, it kind of just started as like a little comedic moment that then turned into something a lot more vulnerable. But I do think that there's something about spreading trans joy in any capacity, and my avenue just sort of happened to be TikTok. And I'm really excited now to take all of that energy and these people that I've brought together and now go back to my roots, which is Broadway. Honestly, I was very particular about merch because I like to be very fashionable, and I wanted to make sure the merch felt that way too. But it just felt like a great way to celebrate Day 365, connect with fans, and I think that hopefully everyone gets a little femme fun out of it. I would say about 6 months into Days of Girlhood, I already was getting comments that were like, what is Day 365 gonna be? And I knew that I wanted it to be more than like a birthday party, kind of, just a run-of-the-mill birthday. And I thought, okay, I want to perform again. I want to sing. I want to dance. I want to show these people what I really am passionate about. So I was approached I actually put in a caption on TikTok, I said, I don't know what Day 365 is going to be, but I hope it has something to do with theater. And a Broadway producer, Diana DeMena, and Rachel Sussman of Plate Spinner Productions approached me and were like, hey, let's go on this journey together. We added a few more producers, and now it's turned into the Rainbow Room, which is sort of this old Hollywood glamour, which I think is very much my vibe. But we've turned it into sort of this like walk through memory lane of my past 365 days with a lot of Broadway, music, some Disney, some Kate Bush, and just really trying to show trans joy in a scripted way as well. Well, I really wanted an emphasis on women and trans people. And I also was just thinking about the story and how can I, lift up other people's voices, and how can I find segments that feel very much like my brand, but also can show another human experiencing transness. And so it has been really, I'm specifically excited for that segment with L. Morgan Lee and Sis. We're doing Sisters together. And I just think that to see three trans women that are all, working separately come together and do this, iconic theater moment will be something that we haven't really gotten to see before. I want more commercial theater like that, though. We have 4 costume changes as of right now, and I think it's looking like Christian's going to close the show with quite the gown. They're old. Actually, we do have, I think, a black gown in there, but that's for one of maybe the darker moments of the show. But there's going to be a lot of pink femme energy in that room. I was just chatting with Rachel Brosnahan of Mrs. Maisel, and she was saying that Christian was one of the first people that ever dressed her for a red carpet. And just talking to him, he was like, "Oh yeah, I know you're going places." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." Funny enough, his trajectory just being on that show and then now entering the mainstream in such a big way is kind of what I hope to do kind of with TikTok, if it's similar in the reality of it. First of all, that opening number is written by Toby Marlowe and Lucy Moss, and it's a bop. You'll never get out of your head. But I think I just really wanted an emphasis on, getting as much femme energy in that room as possible. And I really just went off recommendations and friends of friends. And I'm realizing that the community of women on Broadway can be very small. So everyone knows each other, and I'm kind of now stepping back into it in my right gender identity. So to be supported by all these incredible women and trans people has been the greatest gift and an honor. We've got Disney in there, we've got so much camp, and we've got the gowns do make it difficult to dance, but we'll have some light movement. It's honestly probably the most amazing fever dream that I could ever think of, and it's so Broadway. There's a lot of hoops to jump through, even security. This is an event that is based in transness, and we have to be really careful. But I think that this is the perfect venue because it's not technically a big theater, and we get to reach a lot more people since it's a live stream, and we're donating most, if not all, the proceeds to the Trevor Project, which is, I feel like most of my fan base is queer youth. It just feels like the perfect little mix of the day. I very much think that I would not be sitting here with you if it were not for the queer youth that are on TikTok watching me. My demographic is very young, and I didn't have resources like the Trevor Project growing up. And if I did, I didn't know about them. And I mean, I came out at 4 as that I was a girl, and that, now we're just celebrating my first year of womanhood. So I think I'm keeping in mind my younger self and what I would have needed, and I want to make sure that they get those things that they need. Every time, like even today's International Women's Day, and I'm like getting tagged in all these things by young people, and I'm like, wait, no, go pick somebody else. Like, I think eventually it will hit me. It does when I meet somebody, at a Broadway show or on the street, but I'm just so grateful, and it hasn't really set in yet. I've always heard you shouldn't fight fire with fire, and I think when I hear something bad about myself, I kind of try to put myself in that person's shoes, and I think, well, what's something that I could say to them that then sort of leaves them either, open to more conversation, or realizing that maybe what they said wasn't so great. And it's usually a kind thought, because if I just show them that I have a good heart and that I am, listening, I think then it makes them realize that I'm not such a monster that they're trying to paint us trans people out to be. So the concert's happening at 8 p.m. on Monday, March 13th, and the link is in my bio. $5 tickets. Stellar is the app, and you can actually download it on the TV if you want to get a really fancy experience of seeing me on TV. But we've got all the, steady cams. It's going to be full out. This is not your run-of-the-mill live stream, let me tell you.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.